Hi everybody, it's Geordie from Geordie's Cards. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm back with episode 16 of my Shop Your Crafty Stash series, and today I'm creating quite a clean and simple card, but it's lots of fun. I'm using the Sunny Studios Breakfast Puns stamp set. I love the stamp set, but I've really not used it all that much. I'm just using the little donut from this, and then there's these little hands and feet which you can stamp separately on top. I'm going to be using them as well. And my die set today is the Mama Elephant Framed Tags Union Square die. And I'm just using that kind of shaped one that's second from largest. So I've coloured and cut out my little donuts, and I have a piece of Lawn Fawn 80-pound white cardstock here. I'm lining it up on my grid mat, and I'm using that die and trying to center it up towards the top of my card, and I'm going to hold that in place with some low tack tape and run it through my die cutting machine to create this kind of fun opening. I thought it was kind of a cool shape and I wanted to try it out. So there we go, I've die cut it out and it's all ready to go. Now I'm pulling that stamp set back out again, and I'm going to stamp my sentiment on there. It's going to say, I do not know what I would do without you. I just thought that was so fun. Next up, I have a piece of Bristol smooth cardstock cut to 5.5 by 4 1/4, and I'm using this gorgeous shaded Lilac Distress Oxide ink. I've not used this colour too often, but I really love it. I think it's really pretty. I was thinking of a blue, and then I decided to go for this purpley colour. I just really like it. So what I'm doing is just kind of plopping it on, obviously towards the top part, because that's what you're going to see. And I'm trying to go for a bit of a gradient effect, so it's darker towards the bottom and lighter towards the top. I don't think I did it particularly well. I think it's got a bit of a gradient, but it's such a pretty colour. So now I have a piece of acetate which I've cut so that it fits in behind that opening on my card, and I'm just using some thin double-sided tape to go all the way around the edge of that acetate, and I'm going to attach that into the inside of that panel there to cover that opening. So that I'm going to make a shaker card, of course, because I love a shaker. Now, I always have difficulty removing the backing paper from this double-sided tape. So this kind of sharp little pokey tool thing here is really good for this, and really helps me get it started. So once I've removed all of that backing paper, I'm going to turn my front panel over and then attach it onto the back to seal up that opening. So that's all done. Let me clear away my mess, and now I'm going to pull out some Heffy Doodle foam strips. Now originally I used the foam strips, and then I decided actually I've got a roll of the Heffy Doodle foam tape which is the same height. This is 3 millimeters high, which is the perfect thickness for shaker tags. I've said this before. This is great because you don't have to double it up, and it works perfectly. So I have this big roll of it here. I'm going to pull that out and use that. I just thought, because I was using so many little bits, I didn't want to use up all my strips. I like to save them for other shaker projects, and this was quite easy to use. I just made sure that I kind of squared off the end so that they could butt up against each other, so that I would have no gaps between my foam tape. Just to make sure that my little sequins and shakers, when I come to use them, aren't going to slide out between the foam. So just want to make sure that it's well secured all the way around. And then obviously I'm just adding extra bits so that I can keep the whole panel popped up against my card base. Once I've got enough on there, I'm going to go ahead and pull out my powder tool. I'm just fixing up the little edge there. There was a little bit hanging over, which I didn't want. So now I'm going to pull out my powder tool, and I'm going to run that all the way around the edge of the opening there, just to make sure that my little shaker mixers don't kind of get caught in the foam tape. And I'm using today these Lucy's Little Things Star Bright Sprinkle Mix and this Rainbow Glitter Sprinkle Mix. I just thought that that was a fun combination, and it really looks pretty against my purpley coloured background and my cute little donuts on top. So once that is done, it's, you know, the trying thing of trying to get all the backing paper off the foam tape. I really don't know why I struggle so much with this. I always end up in a little bit of a tangle. Everything gets, my fingers get stuck. I'm always paranoid that I'm going to kind of lose all my shaker pieces out. Thankfully I didn't, and it all went to plan. So I'm going to bring in that purpley coloured background, make sure I've got it the right way around, and then just attach that on top to seal in my shaker mix. I'm going to give that a good squish down, and there we go. Isn't that pretty? I think it's so lovely. I love the colours. Now all that's left is to pull out my two little donuts here and attach them down. Now I was going to use some liquid glue, and then thought better of it and decided to go for my Tombow dot runner here, which can be a little bit messy, especially with all the little hands and feet on these little donuts. But actually it rubs off my craft mat really easily. I just use my fingers to rub it off, and I'm just making sure there's no kind of stickiness on the outsides of their little hands and feet. And I'm going to pop that one down and do the same with my other one. I want these guys to look like they're holding hands. I probably should have placed them down at the same time so that I could get them properly centered. I think they're not quite centered, they're a little bit off, but I think it's okay. I didn't want to kind of pull them up and try removing them because I thought that the sticky tape would go everywhere. So I just left it as it was, and I think it's okay. So of course, give it a bit of a shake. And then I've got this card base, which I've cut from Lawn Fawn 110 % white cardstock. I've used, I just couldn't resist using the sentiment, I love you a waffle lot. There are so many great sentiments in this one, so many punny ones. And then I've stamped the waffle in there as well. And now I'm just using some Tombow adhesive to stick my card front onto my card base, and then that is it. My little shaker card is done. So it's a nice, quick and easy one today, but I just thought it was so pretty with these colours. It would have been ideal for my anniversary, which was last week, but I'll have to save it for next time, maybe for my husband. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, please do give it a thumbs up. Please feel free to leave a comment. I would love to hear from you. And please do subscribe to my channel. I'd love to see you come back and join me again. Thanks so much.